Good morning. I will now get started to introduce members of the Board of Directors. Then I start on my right, the Managing Director of the bank. She can introduce herself.
My name is Dame Adoru Moji, Group Managing Director of Zenith Bank.
My name is Dr. Peter Bankole, Independent Director.
My name is Akindele Ogunranti, Executive Director.
My name is Mustafa Bello, and NAD.
My name is Dr. Juliet Ehimwan, Non-Executive Director.
My name is Adamu Lawani, Executive Director.
My name is Pamela Yo, Non-Executive Director.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adobe Mwapa, Executive Director.
Good morning, shareholder. My name is Chooks Oko.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Henry Oro, Executive Director.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Mujtaba Abubakar, Non-Executive Director.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Omobola Ibidakobe, Independent Director.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Louis Odom, Executive Director. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Michael Utu, Company Secretary.
It's not a vote.
My name is My name is Jim Ovia.
For the members of the Statutory Audit Committee, we have Mrs. Adedinkwe Balogun. We have Professor Leonard Obika, Mr. Michael Olusoji Ajayi. We have our external auditors, Mrs. PricewaterhouseCoopers, external consultants, KPMG Professional Services. Of course, we have our registrars, Veritas registrars. We equally have our regulators at this meeting, the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Nigeria Exchange Group, Corporate Affairs Commission, and we equally have the NDIC joining us online. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Notice of it. Go ahead. Notice of it. Notice of meeting. The notice of this meeting is on page 22 to 23 of your annual report. Notice is hereby given that the 34th annual general meeting of Zenith Bank PLC will hold on Tuesday, April 29, 2025 at the Civic Center of Zumba Mbadiwe Street, Victoria Island, Lagos at 9 a.m. for the purpose of conducting the following business. Ordinary business, 1, to present to members the bank's audited financial statements for the financial year ended December 31, 2024, the report of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon, to declare a final dividend, to approve the appointment of the following directors: Pamela Yo, Adamu Saliu Lawani, and Louis Odom. The appointment of these directors has since been confirmed by the CBN. 4, to re-elect the following directors who retire by rotation at this meeting: Mr. Chuks Imaoko, Dr. Peter Bamkole, Dr. Mrs. Adobe Stella Nwagba, and Mr. Akindele Oguronti. 5, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of auditors. 6, to disclose the remuneration of the managers of the bank in line with the provisions of CAMA 2020. 7, to elect members of the audit committee. Special business, that in compliance with the rule of the Nigeria Exchange Limited governing transactions with related parties or interested persons, the company and its related entities, together the group, be and are hereby granted a general mandate in respect of all recurrent transactions entered into with a related party or interested person, provided such transactions of a revenue or trading nature or are necessary for the company's day-to-day operations. This mandate shall commence on the date on which this resolution is passed and shall continue to operate until the date on which the next annual general meeting of the company is held. 9, to consider and if thought fit to pass the following as ordinary resolution: that the remuneration of the directors of the bank for the year ending December 31, 2025 be and is hereby fixed at 50 billion naira only for each director. To consider and if thought fit to pass the following resolution as special resolutions: that following the cancellation of unissued shares of the company at the conclusion of the capital raise, clause 6 of the company's memorandum and articles of association be and are hereby amended to reflect the new share capital of the company by substituting the words and figures 31,396,493. 11, that the section titled Directors on page 19 of the Articles of Association of the Bank be and is hereby amended by substituting the following: unless and until otherwise determined by the bank by ordinary resolution, the director of the bank shall not be less than 5 or more than 20 in number, to now read unless and until otherwise determined by the bank by ordinary resolution, the directors of the bank shall not be less than 7 or more than 15 in number. 12, that in the interpretation section of our memorandum and article of association, reference to the Act, that is, the Company and Allied Matters Act, CAR 50 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 1990 as amended, or modified from time to time, should be amended to be Companies and Allied Matters Act number 3, 2020 as amended from time to time. Dated this 26th day of March 2025. The notes of the notice are stated there by order of the board.
I need to read this, right? Okay. 26 to 29. Chairman's statement is on page 26 and 29. The bank's external auditors, PwC, will also present their report on the audited accounts of two members. PwC, right?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our report on the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements. In our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statements, page 103. In our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statements give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of Zenith Bank PLC and its subsidiaries, together the group, as at 31 December 2024, and of their consolidated and separate financial performance and their consolidated and separate cash flows for the year then ended, in accordance with international financial reporting standards, as issued by the International Accounting Standards Board, IFRS Accounting Standards, and the requirements of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act, and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Amendment Act 2023. Basis for opinion: we conducted our audit in accordance with the ISAs. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements section of our report. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. The report also includes a section on independence, key audit matters, other information, responsibilities of the directors and those charged with governance for the consolidated and separate financial statements, the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements. Then I'll read in detail our report on other legal and regulatory requirements. The Companies and Allied Matters Act and the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act require that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report to you on the following matters. We confirm that, 1, we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purposes of our audit. 2, the bank has kept proper books of accounts so far as appears from our examination of those books, and returns adequate for our audit have been received from branches and locations not visited by us. 3, the bank's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts and returns. 4, the information required by the CBN Circular BSD 1-2004 on insider-related credits is disclosed in Note 37 to the consolidated and separate financial statements. And 5, disclosed in Note 41 to the consolidated and separate financial statements, the bank paid penalties in respect of contraventions of certain sections of the Bank and Other Financial Institutions Act and/or relevant circulars issued by the CBN during the year ended 31 December 2024. Finally, in accordance with the requirements of the Financial Reporting Council, we performed a limited assurance engagement and reported on management's assessment of Zenith Bank PLC's internal control over financial reporting as of 31 December 2024. The work performed was done in accordance with FRC guidance on assurance engagement report on internal control over financial reporting issued by the FRC of Nigeria, and we have issued an unqualified opinion in our report dated the 26th of March 2025, signed by myself for PricewaterhouseCoopers on the 26th of March 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. I call on Mrs. KPMG Professional Services to present their report on the Board of Directors evaluation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, shareholders. The report of the independent consultant is on page 73. I hereby read. Report of the independent consultant of the Board of Zenith Bank PLC on the appraisal for the year ended 31st December 2024. In compliance with the guidelines of Section 10.1 of the Central Bank of Nigeria's Corporate Governance Guidelines for Commercial, Merchant, and Non-Interest and Payment Service Banks in Nigeria, the CBN Guidelines, and Section 14.1 of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance 2018, Zenith Bank PLC engaged KPMG Advisory Services to carry out an appraisal of the Board of Directors for the year ended 31st December 2024. The CBN guidelines mandate an annual appraisal of the board with specific focus on the board structure, composition, responsibilities, processes, and relationships. We have performed the procedures agreed with the bank in respect of the appraisal of the board in accordance with the provisions of the Central Bank's guidelines and the NCCG. These procedures, which are limited in scope but sufficient for the board's objectives, in line with the CBN guidelines and the NCCG, are different in scope from an external audit. Consequently, no opinion is expressed by us on the activities reported upon. Our approach to the appraisal of the board involved a review of the bank's board papers and minutes, key corporate governance structures, policies, and practices. It also included the review of the corporate governance framework and representations obtained from questionnaires and interviews with members of the board and senior management. On the basis of our review, the bank's corporate governance practices are largely in compliance with the key provisions of the Central Bank guidelines and the NCCG. Specific recommendations for further improving the bank's governance practices have been articulated and included in our detailed report to the board. This includes recommendations on the board and committee composition. This report is signed by my humble self on the 14th of March, 2025. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Audit Committee. Chairman of the Secretary of Audit Committee, Mrs. Adebimpe Balogun, will now present the report of the committee on the audited accounts to members.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, distinguished shareholders. I present the report of the Audit Committee for the year ended 31st December 2024, and it's on page 95 of the annual report. In accordance with Section 404, subsection 7, Companies and Allied Matters Act of Nigeria 2020, we have reviewed the consolidated and separate financial statements of Zenith Bank PLC for the year ended 31st December 2024, and hereby state as follows. The scope and planning of the audit were adequate in our opinion. The accounting and reporting policies of the group and bank conformed with the statutory requirements and agreed ethical practices. The internal control and internal audit functions were operating effectively, and the external auditor's findings, as stated in the management letter, are being dealt with satisfactorily by the management. And 5, related party balances and transactions have been disclosed in note 37 on page 245 of the annual report to the financial statements in accordance with requirements of the International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS, and directives issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN as contained in the Prudential Guidelines for Deposit Money Banks in Nigeria and Circular on Disclosure of Insider-Related Credits in Financial Statements, BSCV 1 of 2004. This report is dated 27th January 2025, signed by me but representing other members of the committee as follows: Mr. Michael Olusoji Ajayi, Professor Prince LFO Obika. They're right here with me. And non-executive directors are Dr. Al-Muktaba Abubakar and Engineer Mustafa Belu. Thank you very much.
Distinguished shareholders, the report is now before you. We will take comments and questions, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning to... Don't direct the affairs. Let the chairman direct the affairs of this meeting. Thank you. Freedom of the City of London Award winner, Chairman Jim Ovia. Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished and eminent board members of Zenith Bank, elders in the land, my fellow articulate and fair and shareholders, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Timothy Ayobami Adeshiyon, a shareholder and first patron of Noble Shareholder Solidarity Association, founded by late Asiwaju Akintunde Asalu of blessed memory in 1985. Now, I want to comment on the performance of Zenith Bank PLC. I want to start first with the quality of the annual report we are considering. It's a quality annual report, well-binded, and carrying all the necessary adverts we need to move our company forward. Please give them a hand of applause. Thank you. I will refer you to page 2 of this annual report. Interest and similar income grew by 138%, and net income grew by 135%. Operating income increased by 74%. Thank you. Thank you. 74. Operating income increased by 74%, and profit after tax increased by 53%. earnings per share of 32.87 kobo, 32.87 kobo per share. Increase in our cost on page 5. No, don't worry. Cost of funds increased from 3.0% to 4.8% in 2024. Cost to income of 36.1% in the previous year increased to 38.9%. That's an increase of 8%. We succeeded in bringing our non-performing loans down from 4.8% to 3.48%, which is minus 27.8%. My special appreciation to Zenith Bank branch, Ladipo Oluwole Ikeja, for their special and unique treatment of customers, because that is where I bank. Now, the Baba of Africa, Lagos. The Baba of Lagos and Africa. My concern is how do we solve the problem of this cost of funds and all our cost of income increase. A lot still has to be done. I appreciate the efforts of the staff, management, and board of Zenith Bank. If you go in front of their office day and night, you will see the lights on. The people are busy working. At times I ask, what time do these people go home? What time do they rest? Tomorrow morning by 8 o'clock again, they are there. Please give this board, staff, and management a hand of applause. Thank you very much. I also want to appreciate the capital adequacy ratio of the bank, which was 21% in the previous year and has gone to 25.6% this year. That's an increase of 18%. The non-performing loan has been reduced from 4.8% to 3.18%. These and other efforts and innovations which the board staff and management of the bank are putting into the business is giving the bank an edge in which we are all rejoicing. In a race, even if you are 200 running the race, one person will come first, and the others will follow. But despite that, their own people, we always appreciate them. Zenith Bank PLC, we thank you and appreciate you. God be with you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Baba.
The chairman, Zenith Bank PLC, distinguished directors of this great company, fellow distinguished shareholder, good morning. My name is Okezie Boniface. Mr. Chairman, when I walk into the hall this morning, coming from underground, at least this place looks so good that Zenith is a bank that we treasure. And it's a bank you can do business with. We will celebrate you because the atmosphere have also colored to celebrate this mine achievement. Mr. Chairman, like the first speaker, I'm not going to bore you too much so that we can go home and begin to enjoy this dividend of 5 naira you're giving to us. Mr. Chairman, in the history of banks today, Zenith Bank made a 1.7 trillion after tax. That's the profit. And you have also grown the balance sheet, almost 3.7 trillion. Mr. Chairman, this is no other feat. Because to do business in Nigeria and you give this kind of superlative result, it's not an easy task. The management have been sleepless night to work out this dividend we're going to share today. Mr. Chairman, I want to commend your tenacity. That shows that you are father of all bankers in Nigeria. This is a fact and a testament that Zenith Bank is still growing stronger than the other thing. Mr. Chairman, we would have haven't double or pay out today if we are going by current on share on issues. But we have new accommodations, new entrant into Zenith, doing the right public offer and right. And all have been accommodated in this dividend we are sharing. A round of applause for these banks. When Dr. Adora was in exchange to present 5 behind the figures, she made a promise that Zenith Bank is going to reward any investor that invested in this bank that will have the management, will have the workforce to turn things around. That we're not coming here to look at the hall of NGS Hall, but we're out to do business. And I assured my word, we are going to reward you adequately. And that's a statement, that's a fact, which I've been translated today. Mr. Chairman, my worry is these senseless penalties and fines by CBN. No matter what you do, they must find a way to take away money from institutions. A whole 15 billion was paid out on penalty. On that, we still have page 254, mandatory reserve deposit with CBN, 5.3 trillion. We can't make use of it. And no interest being paid. They have holding it in CBN. I don't know what kind of regulatory institution we have in Nigeria. They are dragging every institution down. In that state, ANCOM took 92.201 billion from this bank without working for anything. We don't have any toxins they're taking away from this bank. Why must we continue to dole out this money to ANCOM, who are reaping where they did not sow? Mr. Chairman, it is high time the Bankers Committee begin to fight these monsters. And with the shareholder to joining force with the board of banks in Nigeria, because they have outlived their usefulness. And that's why they don't want to exit. In Asia, we're copying these things. They've exited, no more ANCOM over there. That's why we copy these things. So why should we continue to pay ANCOM? Zenith Bank would have double paid 20 naira if this money are here. What are we talking about? Mr. Chairman, in all of these things, operating expenses, Mr. Chairman, last year, the bank spent 29173 billion. In trillions, maybe would have spent over much, but the bank spent 586 billion. That means the bank is prudent. I want to commend the management for what they have doing. And the workforce, what they have been doing. I want to commend them so much. You have done very well. Cost of doing business in Nigeria is too high. And if you are doing that, they will still have the audacity to come and lock gate, come and lock your premise of operating, asking for one penalty or the other. Even under marks, they want you to rob with the billions of naira. Where do we go from here? Every year you decorate a Joshua Degu. I know how much it costs the millions to make that place beautiful without the road. You pay tax. You dole out money, CSR, to other societies, other education institutions, health education, sectors, etc., etc. But the government are not certified. Local government are there. State are there to see how we can get. Mr. Chairman, having said all these things, may the good Lord continue to keep management strong, to be able to weather the storms of doing business in Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, I want to also commend you for donations of 4.7 billion to institutions who benefited. May the Zenith continue to oil out and give back to society where you operate. And that's why God will continue to keep Chairman alive and continue to keep him strong so that you will continue to see this institution through. For this bank to live 100 years and above that. I pray that I will do that. Mr. Chairman, finally, I want to commend the bank on page 23 and 24 for numerous awards given. Mr. Chairman, it is huge. If you look at that page, the award Zenith Bank, it didn't leave to another bank to collect. That's too much. Mr. Chairman, all these awards give a testament of what Zenith stands for. The best bank in Nigeria, Global Finance. Biggest bank in Nigeria by the one-tier capital. Best commercial bank in Nigeria, World Finance. Best corporate governance in Nigeria, World Finance. Most sustainable bank in Nigeria, International Banker. The Bank of the Year, Business Day. Retail Bank of the Year, Business Day. Bank of the Year, The Banker. Most responsible organization in Africa. Best gender equality in women empowerment. Best in transparency and reporting. Best social media, fully consulting. Bank of the Year this day. Bank of the Year, New Telegraph. Mr. Chairman, endless. Kudos to the workforce. No wonder the Zenith Bank, when they wear red, they are all happy to wear this red. Because red is blood. They are donating much to the society. May God continue to reach and bless all of us and bless shareholders. Continue to pray for them. By next year, we are having 10 naira dividend by the grace of God. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Board Directors of Zenith Bank, shareholders and regulators. My name is Dr. Goni Farouk Umar, President Association for the Advancement of the Rights of Nigerian Shareholders. Mr. Chairman, let me join my colleagues in congratulating you for the exceptional results that you have presented to us today. Under the management, Madam, you are now, we have to celebrate you because you have done so well for us. You came to the Nigerian Stock Exchange, did facts behind the figures before the recapitalization, and you promised us that despite the additional shares we are going to have, we will have 5 naira as dividend. I think we should clap for them. And shareholders should realize that even though one bank paid 8 naira, go and look at the total sum paid. Zenith has paid the highest amount in terms of dividend in the banking industry. We should clap for them. Not only that, Mr. Chairman, you have now moved our profitability to trillion. When we started in 2005, 20 years ago, we were talking of millions. Then, Jim, you moved our profitability to billions. And now our profit after tax is 1.3 trillion naira. I mean, this is highly commendable. At this time when the economy is really being very difficult for banks, for institutions to make profit, you have moved our assets, you have moved our shareholders' funds, you have moved many of even the gross earnings, everything is now in trillion, and we thank you for that. My colleague has spoken about the awards. Madam, we commend you. We never in the history of Venice had so many awards. And they are not only ordinary awards, they are awards that are recognized internationally. We thank you for that. And then, Mr. Chairman, I also want to say that, you know, AMCON, yes, we are paying AMCON, but we have a bigger AMCON today. The tax we are paying the government is becoming too much, Mr. Chairman. If you aggregate the tax being paid by banks and other quoted companies, is even heading towards the total budget of the country. We are appealing to President Bola Tinubu, to have mercy on us. We pay corporate tax, we pay withholding tax, we pay education tax. I mean, it's too much on us shareholders. And I think government should sympathize with us and ensure that this tax is reduced. Not only that, CBN, every year, a small infraction, we pay 250 million naira, we pay 75 million naira. Simple things regarding ATM. CBN is charging us, is fining our company, banks a lot of money. I think, Mr. Chairman, this should stop. If it is not stopped by this year, shareholders, I think we should go to court and challenge the unnecessary tax being put on banks. Mr. Chairman, I have we are 20 years, Mr. Chairman, since you started inviting us to AGM. Chairman, shouldn't we celebrate 20 years anniversary for your listing on the Nigerian Stock Exchange? Mr. Chairman, I'm over 70, and I am sure by the time you will do the 50th anniversary, Sir Nwosu and I, and Adeshion, most of us will not be around. So, Mr. Chairman, please, kindly arrange at least a 25th anniversary for us so that we will have one celebration before we depart to our... Mr. Chairman, I hope so. Mr. Chairman, finally, I will ask my own questions. Mr. Chairman, the President has come with a very good tax reform regime. But how is it going to affect the bill he has signed? How is it going to affect our business? Also, globally now, we are worried about what the President of the United States of America is doing regarding putting tax on so many goods going into USA. Mr. Chairman, I want the CEO to tell us how this is going to affect Nigeria and perhaps our banking business in particular. The CEO in her report has indicated that IMF has indicated that MPR will reduce globally. CBN has been reducing the MPR. I want the CEO to tell us what she's predicting the MPR will be by end of this year in Nigeria. And finally, Mr. Chairman, how well have we done in the first quarter? We are anxiously waiting, Madam Doctor, for your first quarter. Give us an indication of what we should expect by tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Sorry, hold this one. The chairman. Very distinguished fellow shareholders, both the one in the main building and the one in the boys' quarter on the next floor. Mr. Chairman, I want to start on the note of some of the level of nuisance, with due respect, that is coming from a number of quoted companies. I think it's height of irresponsibility for any company to ask people to bring their money, and after collecting their money, they shut the gate to the house that they are part owners. And it's on that note I want to thank you for continuing to be open. That's been physical at your AGM. I say this with all due respect, because for a man or woman who has nothing to hide, you don't collect people's money and say, go to hell. But I think that as shareholders, hello, we must also begin to ask ourselves, why would we allow companies who have our money, and because without our money, that company will not be whole? Nothing is less than 100% for you to have a company. We must begin to ask ourselves, what next are we doing? Because if you don't, I can assure each and every one of us who is a shareholder here, by next year, you probably will not have any physical meeting again. Mr. Chairman, I say this with all due respect, like I said earlier. If people bring notices and they put in those notices that they are going to do virtual, and then you don't vote against it, and then you come back the following day and you begin to complain, it also becomes, that's why I said we need to ask ourselves, where do we want to be headed? Mr. Chairman, having said this, I looked at page 34 and 26 of this annual account. And what I found there is the way you what's it called? You then get on those two pictures. And a further look at that picture will indicate that what you probably have in mind is that what will tomorrow bring? And interestingly, what tomorrow will bring is the essence of any investment. No investment will be an investment if it's short-term. And because it's not going to be short-term, you must constantly ask yourself, what will tomorrow bring? Having said that, I will share with you that from what I find on a number of pages, page 53 in particular, one of the things that is certain, more especially now that you have also migrated to London, though you live in Nigeria, is the fact that the tomorrow of Zenith Bank may have women offering men including on the board, including in top management, Scottish skirts, so that they won't have cause to complain that. So for those of you who don't know how to wear Scottish skirt, what I will ask you to begin to do, begin to buy shoes from Scotland. So when they give you the skirt, there will be a matching color. Mr. Chairman, I also, with due respect, will be asking that looking at page 215 and page 74, 215, I'll come to in much more detail. But on page 74, I also will think that the corporate governance report is not impactful enough. He has said nothing, despite we having to pay 48 million naira. And why is this so? The responsibility of shareholders is to follow up on what the board and management are not able to cite. So if they come and do a work, they should tell us what work they have done, but much important, point out areas that we can also ask management and board tomorrow. What have you done as to these lapses or this inadequacy? So, corporate governance reporter, don't give us this mess for next year. Don't give us this mess. Yes, it's been imposed on us, but in a number of countries where this operates, there's huge value that is derived. But what we have seen in Nigeria again, no value. I was going through this account. Interestingly, I saw a page that has teacup. But when I was looking at it several times thereafter, I didn't find the teacup. But what I understood by the teacup is the fact that if you have a teacup, the chances are high that that cup will have tea, hot water, and whichever you want. You will also have milk. For those of them who are to my right, they probably will have honey rather than have sugar. But the only way it can also come is what OKZ has talked about slightly, and I will want to push it a little more. What we have now, with due respect, is a situation where monkey they walk. And why is this so? If you look at page 215, like I said earlier, NDIC 55.7, AMCOM 92.2, fines 15.4. And if you look at it on the surface, it looks small at 163.3 billion. But if you look at it, what it was last year, just 855, which means that in 1 year, we had 91% jump in just those three items. And I don't know, you can have a serious system that will take cost from regulators in the manner in which they are doing it. And let me also tell you why it is even more important that we don't keep our eyes off this. We have paid on those funds that have come in. And then central bank will take a good size of it and tell us that they have locked them up in a vault. But when it comes to the CBN window, the banks that go in there will be charged over 30%. So if you are charging people, what stops us from benefiting from part of the money that you have taken from us? It is stealing, whether you want it or not. The right word for it is that central bank is stealing. And I want their representative to report that what they have become is Commercial Bank of Nigeria. That is their new name. They are competing with, you can't do that in any serious and forward-looking society. And it's unfortunate that this is what we are continuing to have. But don't also forget, even the money that we collect, we pay tax on, we pay interest on them. And yet somebody keeps collecting our money. Like you said, it may be beyond what we'll be asking the bankers committee to do. Unfortunately, I'm not sure whether the National Assembly will be useful either. Because when you have 6.5 dozen, you are not likely to know where to go. But this cost rise is something that we must continue to talk about, because if we don't talk about them, if they don't ruin our bank, they will ruin our the very best of brain. Because you constantly will ask yourself, how do you navigate these landmines? Let me also go back to the issue of staff. Because one of the things that I also have seen is that in terms of staff, there was a significant improvement in pay. And I want to commend, but I'll also be hoping that this itself will have some relationship to the size of fraud and forgeries that we find. Unfortunately, in our climb, we haven't had enough, probably because we also don't want to read. We are talking people. But it's something that as a bank, you also begin to see what is the correlation between if you improve pay and then the size of fraud that comes. MD, please don't suggest that we use the whole of our profit in paying staff. They should be well paid, but not use all our money. Otherwise, it will get to a stage we will have to buy them industrial scale to be able to see the progress they have made in their weights, and I don't think that is the intention. I also want to think that when it comes to our sustainability reporting, because all of this, yes, I also do know there are persons who tell you, like one of my English friends will say, no, don't bore me with your excessive statistics and my mind is made up. Yes, I know people who operate in that manner. But please, let's continue to indicate in our sustainability report the cost component of all of this that central bank is doing to us. Because if you don't, then you also be shooting yourself in the leg. And I will be hoping that going forward, that is a major aspect of our lives that we'll talk about. Let me also say on the final note, because if we don't do this, it becomes the issue of Midas course. People have talked about how well we have done in the year under review. But the better you do, the more you get punished. Because if I go up by 100 million and I then taxed, and then I get to pay for NDIC, I get to pay for AMCOM, it again doesn't make sense. So what we basically, this system is one that is punishing the intelligent and the hardworking person. And so you must also, as a bank, begin to make sure that this is not the way to go. Mr. Chairman, I will also be failing in my responsibility if I don't point out what I find on page 247. Liabilities in court cases up to 1.3 trillion. Yes, I know that people will come to people who are rich and they will ask for higher amounts. But I think it's something that you need to constantly look at and then assure us as to what would not happen, would not happen. And for the new directors, which I prefer to call newcomers, what I will be hoping that will also come from your appointment is that you must help us to up the game. Very many times, what determines the success of any organization is not the amount of money that you have. Yes, I hear my friends from the eastern part of the country, one of the things they tell you is that money make iron float. And quite a number of them, I say, sorry, money does not make iron float. What makes iron float is knowledge. So let's begin to bring more and more of our expertise and knowledge to the table, because that way we will continue to be ahead of the market. And it's on that note that I will be asking that what I will want to see next year. Because your advert on page 272 talked about upgrade, not only are you going to have a better result, like somebody have mentioned, though I didn't know where his crystal ball sold 10 naira from, but let's have a dividend that has some correlation with the improvement in your share price, which I also will be hoping that come next year, under your 5-year report, that is not statutorily bound as to accounting reports, you also indicate what your share price has been in the last 5 years. We are even possible in the last 20 years. It's on that note that I want to commend management first and board for this performance. But I haven't told you that if you don't do well next year, we will not only withdraw some of the well done that we have given you this year, we will withdraw additional one, the one we have given you a year before. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Mr. Chairman and his daughter, among all that you have listed as award, you have not told us that your daughter got the Banker of the Year award. And that's a very significant achievement for the lady that came in just last year to be honored with the Banker of the Year. Please, let's give her a round of applause. Mr. Chairman, I hate people who double talk. The central bank will tell you they are attracting investment while they are also killing the investment that comes in. You can imagine 100 and something billion naira. If you add that together, that of AMCON NDIC is about 163 billion naira, which is exactly dividend we paid. So if you add it, then like somebody said, probably we would have been going home today or before the end of the meeting, and a lot would have come, which would have translated to about 9 naira or 10 naira. We have to talk to central bank. It's not the best way to improve the economy of the country. You don't have to give with right hand and take with left hand. I'm sure they are here. Unfortunately, I heard that it is not everything that we report at the AGM that is given to the governor in verbatim. But that is wrong. Yemi Cardoso is a Nigerian. He should know that you are overtaxing people. NDIC, levy for a little and little things. It doesn't encourage us at all. And yet, the central bank will be saying, invest in the economy. How then do you invest in the economy when there is a punitive penalty that is going on in the economy? So the central bank is part of those killing the economy with all this kind of penalty. So they need to be talked to know that it is not fair to investors. We brought out our hard-earned money to invest in the bank. Therefore, we should also enjoy the benefit of the investment. Mr. Chairman, I also want to advise this board that we don't have enough outstations outside the country. We should have more outstations so that contribution to profit will improve. We need to go home with good dividend. And like they mentioned, the key to London, is it going to affect us? Are you going to be magnanimous enough to send some of us to London with the key to London? So it's important, whatever our father is enjoying, the children should also benefit from it. I saw the picture, you took head of state to London. Those ones does not need being sponsored to London because already they have access. It is people, shareholders like some of us here that need to be in London. So when you provide us with a special plane or charter plane, you will then know whether you have reasonable shareholders or not. That is the way that you will know whether people are really enjoying your achievement. But if you are taking head of state to London, it doesn't mean anything to such person. It means a lot to the poor people who are shareholders of Zenith Bank. For you to take them, give them the key, or you follow them and open the door to London so that they will go in and enjoy you much better. How can we be paying AMCON 92.2 billion naira? For what? What is the job of AMCON? You need to explain to us the job of an AMCON. NDIC, we are paying 55.7 billion naira, bringing all expenses of penalty and other things to 163 billion naira. That's enough to further increase our dividend. We say no to all these expenses. Usually, the position of shareholders is to say all those that made the increment of this penalty should pay it and should not be passed to us because we are innocent of it. But in this case, I want to praise the management, not only you, but you and your daughter. So I'd like to praise the effort of Zenith Bank. And I believe in the advert that says, in your best interest. I hope somebody will help me to end this advert. Open an account with Zenith in your best interest. Because among those banks that we have believed that will never fail is Zenith and others. Last year, I challenged you that your brother read, we want to see what will come out. one of the red, orange, came out with a fantastic dividend, and we applauded that orange. And we want the red, which is blood. Orange is just something to give us energy. Red is more important. By next interim, dividend should be up and give us better dividend. So because each time we are coming to this meeting, we're always very cheerful. We don't want a situation that will be saddened with the attitude of the bank. Mr. Chairman, another thing is that today we are having more than 4 other meetings. The regulators should be very kind in scrutinizing these things and ensure that these meetings does not clash. It's giving us a great headache. Like you love us, other people love us too. And definitely we will attend their meetings. So you have to give us some breathing space to be able to organize ourselves to render to other people the service we render to Zenith too. It is always better for us to be merrier in all these things. Mr. Chairman, we are looking forward to your interim dividend. Jim, when you came into this hall, you never even bothered to greet us. Usually, in the past, you greet us. We feel that, what's the matter? Are you not happy about the AGM? So, we were just looking, and you never bothered to greet some of us here. You just passed to the high table. I remember 2 years ago when you said we applauded the company secretary, and I told you the company secretary is very close to us. And we believe that this company secretary had worked to the extent that he should be upgraded to directorship. So it's very nice. Okay. He's never bothered about the worries that we always give him, and he's always very cheerful. And our director, our chairman should also be very cheerful. You smile to us, we understand that things are going on well. Smile to us. That is better. That is better. We appreciate your daughter. Whichever way, you are still the grandmaster, and she is your daughter. We also appreciate the fact that you are bringing a lot of doctors to the board, even though majority of them cannot give injection. But Mr. Chairman, what is good is good. We are very happy with every time we call us to discuss things, and you allow us to speak our mind. We thank all the directors, especially the management ones. Yes, and believe that next year we are gathering here, we will have an enhanced dividend and we'll be more cheerful. Thank you for the opportunity given to me.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and the regulatory authority present. My name is Mrs. E.O. Obidei, the National Coordinator of Ark of God Shareholder Association. Firstly, sir, I really appreciate this board. They regard female very well. Among the 15, we have 5 female. That's about 40%. Let's female in this hall. Let's clap for them. They really put us in mind. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that. Secondly, sir, the last speakers make mention of the secretariat. Yes, our company secretariat is so nice to us. We are not saying you are not nice. We are getting old. The age is there. But the secretariat, we are not using this to disturb him, but it's so nice. It answered our message, our call, or direct us to the PA. Let's give him a round of applause. For the past years that we've been with him, it answered us. Sir, Dr. Farouk made mention of the 20 years anniversary. So carry the shareholder along. We people on this side, we are part of you. Let's know how it goes and how to be there. We will contribute to the celebration because we give you advice. Sir, page 91, the children account is a welcome. It has not happened in some bank, and is a welcome idea for children from 0 to 15. So I think today we should have a bill so that we can take home, like all of my children has account in Zenith Bank. It is mandatory in my family. My grandchildren will also want to have, and this is what I will use to prove for my children that from age 0 to 15, look at what the Zenith offered. After the last paragraph there says they will even call them for Christmas party. It even shows, before you say that, if we go to VI by December, you will know December children are very great. People that was born in December, I was born in December, and we are also great. You will see that light shining in VI, that December is coming. Jesus was born that time. Please pray that you should born in that time. So that thing is welcome address. And you even provide for the old people, the citizen, senior citizen, 60. You don't want to put them aside. You don't want them to believe that they don't have anything. The 2 account is key. I love that. I love that. And the benefits, it's a welcome idea for the senior citizen. Because the charges, another thing you mentioned, is a work. In fact, let's clap for them. It's a good innovation. Sir, at this side, consider the shareholder, the children. We have our children that has BSc, masters, other level. Consider them as you consider others. I know you are good. You can do that because there are some things you do in the past for, to give, that you give youth. In this all, you used to do it 10, 15 years ago. I have youth that have been a beneficiary of that computer in those days. You can still try and do that for us, sir. We will still welcome it. Thank you. God bless you. My name is Mrs. Obidei.
Okay, the group managing director will respond to various questions and commentaries.
Thank you very much. Our esteemed shareholders, good morning. I want to start by thanking you for your insightful questions and comments. This is actually my first year of addressing this shareholder community as the first female group managing director. As the first female group managing director and CEO of Zenith Bank. And I want to use this opportunity to thank you for your confidence and for your support that have placed me in this position today. Under my leadership, Zenith Bank is committed and will continue to meet your expectations and will exceed it. Your questions and comments have been duly noted, and I'll take them in no particular order. Those questions are very insightful, and I want to start with the question of fines. Those fines are regulatory, and CBN have decided to have close monitoring and supervision on the banks. and we have seen a spike in fines across banking industry. And it calls for more caution for all of us. And for us in Zenith Bank, we have put necessary procedures in place and make sure we are very prudent and professional going forward so that those fines will not reoccur. We want to assure you that we'll put those measures in place. And the second question is on interest expense that went up as well as cost. Those interest expense actually went up because if you look at the increase in your deposit base, it automatically reprices your assets. And when you look at how the growth in deposits, we grew from 15.1 trillion in 2023 to 21.9 trillion in 2024. This further shot up our interest expense. And when you look at the MPR, in February 2023, it went from 18.75% to 27.5% in November 2024. This automatically has an impact in the effective interest rate paid on deposits, especially when it has to do with even savings. It reprices your savings, so automatically it will go up. So when you now talk about the cost, we know, yes, the operating cost is increasing. We know that the NDIC premium, AMCOM levy, maintenance as well as our fuel and IT infrastructure actually constituted about 54% of our cost in the OPEX. And we are really working on the ones we can handle, which is mainly the maintenance and fuel as well as the IT, trying to reprice our assets because of devaluation. But for the AMCON and the NDIC, the shareholders have spoken about that today. That one is not within our control, but we'll continue to manage it. So, and for the salaries, we'll continue to encourage our staff and make sure we pay them very well. That's part of the reason why our costs went up as well. But we have put necessary measures in place to ensure that we manage this cost effectively going forward, and we'll bring it down. For the question on dividends, I'm sure that is what excites the shareholders. Everybody looks at good dividends. Because if you look at our focus, for us in Zenith Bank, we are focusing on running a very sustainable institution, very efficient and sustainable institution that's very resilient. Our focus to make sure that we are very resilient and run an institution that will live all of us generations to come. So we noted the fact that we need to pay more dividend, but if you look at our dividend trajectory payment over the period, we have always increased the dividend we've paid over the years, and we are going to continue to do that. We have finalized our recapitalization exercise, and we have 160% capitalization as we speak. We have 160% subscription as we speak, and we are not under any pressure to go back for the second time to raise money. We have a robust, in fact, we have a robust capital buffer, which means that we are ready to actually delight our shareholders. So going forward, we are going to really look at how we can do that, and I want to assure you that those dividend payouts will really increase. I know you're looking for. I know shareholders are looking for a quantum leap dividend. We are equal to the task. And for the question on which one? The other one is on sustainability. I think Mr. Nonao talked about, no, he first of all talked about the legal issues, the legal cases. Most of them are frivolous, unfortunately. Once you're in business of making money, a lot of people will be looking for money from you. But we have it under control, and we'll continue at least we'll continue to make sure that those things does not crystallize on the bank. And we have decided to use an ADR system, at least alternative dispute resolution, to see how we can resolve most of them as quickly as possible. That one we'll have under control as well. Then the question on sustainability, yes, he mentioned sustainability as well. Zenith Bank has really improved on its sustainability reporting. We have now even decided to do a lot, especially to reduce the carbon emission footprints in our environment by adopting most of the solar panels in some of our branches, as well as all our ATMs are now running on solar panels. And then we have started to do our reporting based on that ESG reporting format. That's what we are using now for our credits. And we even recently rejected a lot of credits that have hazardous implication on the environment. I think going forward, we'll start to report that in our financials so that you can see how far we have done on that sustainability aspect. We will need to give more disclosure and more reporting on all the things we've done. It's an area of improvement for us, and we'll improve on that as well. The question on ZECA, yeah, the lady talked about ZECA. Yeah, we have products for children. We have even timeless for the elderly and retirees. We are paying them enough interest rate to support their lifestyle. And then you talked about hiring youth. Zenith has been doing that and will continue to hire that. And Chairman has resolved to continue to share the computers like you're clamoring for. He's been doing that. Maybe he needs to do more. And he has agreed to do that going forward. And for the anniversary, Chairman has already committed to that we are going to have our 30 years anniversary very soon. Okay, so I guess I've attempted most of the questions. Once again, I want to thank you for all your questions and comments. We are committed to grow our top lines organically while adhering to strict corporate governance culture to create more value for our esteemed shareholders. And we want to assure you you're going to get a quantum leap dividend going forward. Thank you very much.
We will now proceed to vote on various resolutions for the meeting. We received a number of proxy forms for this meeting. We will reflect the voting pattern in minutes based on the proxy forms received as well as members of the present in person. We ask the Company Secretary to read out the various resolutions while I will call on the numbers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I proceed, we want to recognize the presence of the Financial Reporting Council. They came in the course of the comment session of our meeting. So the first one is adoption of accounts. Be it resolved that the report of the directors, together with the audited financial statement for the 12 months ended December 31, 2024, be and are hereby approved. So I so move.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Patrick Ajudua. I rise to move the motion.
My name is Peter Eyanuku. I second the motion. Thank you.
Those for? Those for?
Those in favor? Carried.
Therefore, I declare the motion carried.
Be it resolved that a final dividend of 4 naira per share making a gross dividend of 164,279,320,004 out of the profit after tax for the 12 months ended 31st December 2024. B, and is hereby declared payable on pro rata basis to the shareholder holding fully paid ordinary shares registered in the books of the company at close of business on the 15th day of April 2025, bringing the total dividend for the financial year ended to 5 naira and a gross dividend of 195,675,813,791, and that the directors be and are hereby authorized to give effect to this resolution. Seconder, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Wahab Ajani. I second the motion. Thank you.
I declare the motion carried.
The third one is election of new directors. In line of the provision of Section 287 of CAMA 2020, we have a motion to appoint directors based on a single resolution of members. Sorry? Yes, go ahead. Based on a... So I now move that we appoint Pamela Yo, Adamu Saliu, Executive Director, Louis Odom, Executive Director, based on a single resolution of member. Those four. Seconder, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Makoju Oladayo Abduyekin. I second the motion.
Those in favor, please.
Carried.
Okay. In line with Section 274 sub 2 of Companies and Other Matters Act, CAMA 2020, be it resolved that Pamela Mimi Yo, Non-Executive Director, Mr. Adamu Saliu Lawani, Executive Director, and Mr. Louis Odom, Executive Director, be and are hereby approved as directors of the bank. Seconder, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity. The name is Abayomi Adebayo. I second that motion. Thank you very much.
Those for the motion. Those against. Mr. Chairman, the motion is carried. Number 4 is re-election of retiring directors. At this meeting, the following directors retire by rotation. And being eligible, they have offered themselves for re-election. They are Mr. Chuks Imaoko, Dr. Peter Bankole, Dr. Mrs. Adobe Nwakpa, Mr. Akindele Ogoronti. Being eligible for re-election, I move that they be elected directors of the company by a single resolution. Seconder, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The name is David Adenike Okoyemi. I so second.
Those for? Those against? Mr. Chairman, the motion is carried. I further move as follows, that in line with Section 285 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, Mr. Chuks Imaoko, Dr. Peter Bankole, Dr. Mrs. Adobe Nwakpa, and Mr. Akindele Ogoranti, directors of the bank who retire by rotation and being eligible for re-election, and having offered themselves for the re-election, be and are hereby re-elected directors of the bank. Seconder, please.
And seconding Mike, my name is Alhaji Otumba Mukhtar, Chairman of the Trusted Shareholders Association of Nigeria. I hereby stand up to second the motion.
Those for? Those against? Mr. Chairman, the motion is carried. Remuneration of the auditors. Be it resolved that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Seconder, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me this opportunity. My name is Jibuno Godfrey Uche. I hereby second that motion.
Those for? Those against? Mr. Chairman, this one is carried. Disclosure of the remuneration of managers of the bank. By provision of Section 238 of CAMA 2020, at this meeting, the disclosure of remuneration of managers of the company is expected to be done. Accordingly, this item is disclosed on page 246 of the financial report for information of members. We do not need a resolution for this. Special business. Be it resolved that in compliance with the rule of the Nigeria Exchange Limited, governing transactions with related parties or interested persons, the company and its related entities, together the group, be and are hereby granted a general mandate in respect of all recurrent transactions entered into with a related party or interested person, provided such transactions are of a revenue or trading nature or are necessary for the company's day-to-day operations. This mandate shall commence on the date on which this resolution is passed, as today, and shall continue to operate until the date on which the next annual general meeting of this bank is held. Seconder, please.
I, Ilori Olubumi, I second the motion.
Sorry, what's the name?
Olubumi Ilori. Thank you.
Those against?
So the motion is carried, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, okay.
Director's fee. Be it resolved that the director's fee for the 2025 financial year be and is hereby fixed at 50 million naira only for each director. Seconder.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The name is Akitunde Mary. I second the motion.
Those for? Those against? Mr. Chairman, this is carried. Amendment of MEMAT, this special resolution. Be it resolved that following the conclusion of our capital raise, clause 6 of the MEMAT of the company be and are hereby amended to reflect the new issued capital of the company by substituting the words and figures 31,396,493,787 divided into 62,792,9757 for ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, and replacing same with the following words and figures: 20,534,915,000.50 divided into 41,069,830,001 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, respectively. Seconder, please.
I, Olumuyiwa Adefokwe, so second.
Those for? Those against? Mr. Chairman, the motion is carried. Be it resolved that the section titled Directors on page 19 in the Articles of Association of the Bank be and is hereby amended by substituting the following: unless and until otherwise determined by the ordinary resolution of the directors of the bank shall not be less than 5 or more than 20 in number. To now read, unless and otherwise determined by the bank by ordinary resolution, the directors of the bank shall not be less than 7 or more than 50. This is in line with the corporate governance requirement. Seconder, please.
Mr. Chairman, Master Olayola Kujenya, I rise to second that motion. Thank you very much. Master Olayola Kujenya.
Those for? Those against? Mr. Chairman, the motion is carried. The next one will be that in the interpretation section of our MEMAT of this company, that's the last resolution. The reference to acts, that's the Company and Allied Matters Act, Cap 50, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 1990 as amended, or modified from time to time, should be amended to read Companies and Allied Matters Act number 3 of 2020. This is just to correct our MEMAT. Seconder, please.
I, Engineer Binio Sharaf Ateju, second the motion.
Those for? Those against? The motion is carried. The last item is election of audit committee members. The Company and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020, by Section 403 requires that the audit committee of the bank be made up of 2 non-executive directors and 3 shareholders' reps. The directors representative for the audit committee for this new financial year will be Dr. Mujtaba Abubakar, Engineer Mustafa Bello. Now, a number of nominations were received from the shareholders. However, the following met the requirement as stated in our notice of meeting. Mrs. Adebinkwe Balogun, Professor Leonardo Bika, Mr. M.O. Ajayi. Being valid, they stand unopposed. Mr. Chairman, thank you, sir. This marks the end of all the resolutions.
I want to thank you so much for the meeting, and therefore, we would like to have Alaji Tambari, is he here? Tambari should lead us in closing prayer, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let us pray. We pray to Allah to continue to bless our bank, Zenith Bank, to give good health to our chairman, the CEO, the directors, the management and staff of Zenith Bank. We pray to God to make this bank make more profit for shareholders, and we pray, like the CEO promised, an increase in the return to shareholders. Mr. Chairman, we pray for peace and stability in this country. We pray to God to safeguard this country from all the insurgency we are seeing in Plateau State, Zamfara, Borno, Sokoto, and Kebbi. And we also pray to God to make the economy grow, and we pray all these global issues that are now affecting the world economically, God will save Nigeria and save our bank, Zenith Bank. All the subsidiaries we are establishing in the foreign and African countries, may God help us succeed. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
The national anthem, please.
Aku sayang padamu.
Desire. What is right and what is wrong?